Right. Good evening and welcome to my 75th episode of my weekly show. Okay, the Weekly 10 show. And I would like to just mention at the start, I don't know if I even recorded that first bit, but there you go. I would like to mention at the start that I'm still available for one-to-one coaching, and I'm also doing speaking events now. I had my first paid speaking event booked for July coming up. I'm really excited about that. I've got loads of different speaking events. So if you're interested in booking me or hearing about how I can help you in a work sense, in a corporate sense, or in any sense, in a private sense as well, let me know, and I can explain to you how I work and how I can actually help you, whether it's your individual or whether it's a group of people in a workplace or somewhere like that. Okay, so what I'm going to actually talk about tonight is getting your priorities right and investing in what actually really truly matters in life. You know, I had a chat with somebody, it was actually 2 weeks ago, which highlighted to me how we can often get our priorities completely messed up. Someone actually approached me to ask if I could coach them. However, they didn't think that they could actually afford it right now. And when I explained to them that money isn't a barrier between whether you can progress forward in life and working, and whether I can help you do that, you know, that it shouldn't be a barrier. So that's why I have a pay plan. I work with people, doesn't matter what their income is or doesn't matter what their situation is, I still want to help them move forward. So it shouldn't be the barrier. So knowing that, I would happily work within that guy's budget in order to help him move forward with his life and create what he wants, because I know that he will pay me at some point, because when you practice this stuff, things change for you. So I'm confident in that. So I had no issues with the fact that he might not be able to afford it, but at the end of the day, it's okay. I mean, sometimes, you know, the timing just isn't right. You know, it might not be that he might literally not be able to afford a penny, and that's fine. You know, everyone's going through a lot of difficulties at the moment. It's tough for everybody financially, and you know, people tighten their belts when this sort of stuff happens. And it can actually be self-defeating in that sense, because you stop yourself actually doing things which would move you forward and which would actually help you earn more money. So, you know, it's a chicken and egg situation. We stop ourselves doing things that we know will help us. So, however, when I heard that this same person had been out that weekend, spending money on alcohol, spending money on gear, buying a couple of packets of gear, and or cocaine for the people who don't understand what gear is, I questioned his sincerity, because could he really not afford £100 a month, or even less, 50 quid a month, whatever? Could he not even afford that to help him grow as a person, invest in themselves, in your future, and improve literally every area of your life? Was that too much to find when you could find the money to go out and get off your nut? That's the question. So, or was it a case that the priorities are all messed up? You know, if you can afford to buy that and go out and get wasted at the weekends, you can afford to invest 50 quid, £100 into your life, into you, you know, and where you're going in life. So, you know, this is what. So, however, this experience, knowing this, also helped me recognise that even if he did have the money in that situation, even if he did see the value in investing in himself or themselves, now was definitely not the right time. You know, if you're doing gear still and you're going out every weekend and you're putting that sort of lifestyle ahead of your future and where you want to be really in life, then I can't help you. Simple as that. You know, there's nothing I can do to change that. That decision has to come from the person. They have to want to change. They have to want to do the work. They have to want to move forward with their lives. And if you don't want to, there's nothing anyone can do to help you. And that might be, you know, not necessarily someone who's watching this. It might be a friend or a relative of someone who's like that. You know, they know the person won't change unless you want to change. And it was the same as me when I went through prison. I decided I wanted to change. If it wasn't for me deciding I wanted to change, I would never have changed. You can't force people to change. So, but it's down to the individual. And if they want to change, then the opportunity is there for them. So I work with people who have their priorities right, correct, and in place. People who want to break free of that negative, draining sort of lifestyle, habits that drain us and hold us back in life, and truly create something profound and sustainable that works and creates the things that you want in life. So investing in yourself, it's not a cost. It's not an actual cost, because this is another thing that people seem to think. Whenever you see anything, we think of money. How much is it worth money? We don't see the value necessarily in something. We see the cost. And so if you're investing in yourself and you see it as a cost, it's because you're not seeing the value in investing in yourself. And that's the key, because you need to see the value investing in yourself in order to progress. If you don't, you won't do the work. You won't move forward. You won't actually do anything. You won't achieve anything. You'll just stay where you are. So, investing in yourself, it's basically minimum risk with maximum reward, guaranteed reward. And that's exactly why I actually give a money back guarantee with my program. Because if it wasn't for the fact that I knew that it works and I'm 100% confident in the process that I use, then I wouldn't give a money back guarantee. So that's the whole point, So anyone who's doubting it, or doubting whether they should invest, not just with me, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about generally investing in yourself as a whole. If you're doubting whether it's going to be successful, then funny enough, that's the very things that you need to address, the very hyper thinking that you need to address in order to move forward, because they're self-defeating thoughts, they're fears, limiting beliefs, interpretations, assumptions that we tell ourselves about situations which hold us back, stop us moving forward. We talk ourselves out of moving forward. That's the point. It's not going to work for me. So, it's a lot of rubbish, this. Why should I bother? I'm happy as I am. I don't have to waste my time. All of these excuses we make to ourselves all the time. And they are excuses, because what it is telling ourselves that this, there's no point. There's no point me investing in myself. I'm not able to do this. I can't. It's not possible to be happy and fulfilled in your life and do it. It's self-defeating. So we do this, and then as a result, we get stuck in that cycle of nothingness where we just go out, get wasted, go out, get wasted, go out, and work in between. It's boring. And this is the thing. If you're not happy living like that, you have that choice. You have the choice to step away from that and do something different. And only you can decide that. So the irony is that many of us hold back actually from committing to things, and we know when we actually realise that help is the very thing that we need to sort of move you forward. No one reached the top in life without help. Or not necessarily even the top. Just no one succeeded in anything in life without help. So, it's those 4 blocks again, which I as a coach work with my clients to help remove limiting beliefs, fear, assumption, and interpretations, stories that we tell ourselves about situations that we then believe as fact and which stop us doing things in life. So, all of these self-defeating things that we do, you might see it from the perspective of like, well, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Well, no, it isn't. We all choose our thoughts, and if you're choosing thoughts from a low energy, which is full of fear, full of assumptions, full of interpretations, full of limiting beliefs, guess what? Everything you think is going to come through those lenses, and everything you do is going to be affected by those. So you won't ever be performing at a very high level. You'll just be average. And that's what most people are, average, because they don't step above that parapet to actually put themselves forward for anything, because it's easier to stay in your comfort zone. Simple as that. And that's why we make these excuses. This is why sometimes we reach out tentatively to ask for something, because deep down you want to do it. You want to move forward. You want to get out of a certain status quo way of living, and you want to start creating something in life. But as soon as you reach out, you quickly jump back in, because you're too far out of your comfort zone now. That's what that guy did the other day. He asked how much it was. As soon as he heard the cost, oh no, I can't afford that. So what did you do? Go out and get on it. And how's that moving you forward in life? So anyway, so money isn't your barrier. It isn't. you know, we tell ourselves it is. It isn't. It's not a barrier to success. You can be successful without money. There's ways. Asking for help doesn't cost a thing. And, you know, there's people out there like myself who are happy to work with people to get them from A to B, or even, you know, not just A to B, everything in between as well. So, you know, you can move forward with your life. And the reality is the more happier, consciously in the moment, fulfilled, and, you know, balanced you will feel overall, the more successful you will be in every area, and that includes financial. So, you know, so it's money isn't a barrier to success. It's your thinking that is. So get your priorities right and put what really matters first, okay? And that's all tonight, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful weather. I'll speak to you all next time. See you soon.